What's going on? Jake here with Uncommon EDC. Today we're taking a look at another Rosecraft traditional, this time the Savage Creek Gunstock, now available in Genuine Stag. In fact, as I'm recording this is in stock on the Rosecraft site for $79, so I'll link to all of that in the description below. Now, I actually ended up picking mine up at Blade Show Atlanta, which was a cool experience for a couple reasons. One, they were doing some show pricing, so I believe this was $70, maybe $72. You did save a couple bucks, not a huge discount, but Blade Show is expensive and every dollar counts, so definitely appreciate that. But more importantly, you got to choose your covers, and that's something that's so cool with Stag covers because no two examples are going to be alike. Every knife will be completely unique. You'll have variations in the coloring, the patterns of those colors, the natural imperfections in that stag bone, as well as just the shape of the stag itself. And so a lot of different factors go into it. I took a look at 3 different knives when I was choosing. 2 of them had a pretty similar shape, different colorations, but a very similar shape with the swell focused kind of on the back end of the knife. And you can see shape-wise they're very well matched. The other one, the swell was more in the center near these center pins, and I felt like that did change the ergos a little bit, and I preferred the ergos of the ones with the swell in the front and back, so that's what I was focused on. Of those 2, I think this one had the best coloration on any individual cover. Now you can see a huge variation in the coloration on my show side versus my pile side, which I'm perfectly okay with, but I think this show side is one of the most stunning covers in my collection, if not the most stunning. It is my first stag knife, and so it was kind of a cool experience to be able to pick one out by hand and choose one that really just spoke to me, had the character that I was looking for, and I think this one is absolutely stunning. So as far as the rest of the knife goes, traditional gunstock pattern, obviously you have some of the Rosecraft touches, that Andy Armstrong design with that swedge on the blade and things like that, but it is very much a traditional gunstock pattern. And so we get a 3.625 inch handle in that closed position, which does equate to our overall handle length as well. The gunstock pattern is just a great pattern for ergos already, and again, I feel like the shape of the covers did lend nicely to that on my example as well. So 3.625 inches does allow me to get all 4 fingers wrapped around that handle, no problem whatsoever. Very, very comfortable. You have your index, your middle finger in this lower position, your ring and pinky up on that elevated position, keeps you from sliding back at all. You have the kick on the tang there that keeps you from sliding forward, so it really allows you to lock in nicely on this knife. It feels excellent in hand. We have a beautiful clip point style blade. Again, that swedge near the tip is that signature Andy Armstrong look. Nail nick deployment. D2 steel on that clip point blade, 2.8 inches on the blade length. Now that's going to bring us up to about a little over 6.4 inches overall. So a good sized knife, great working knife. It has a strong spring, don't have to worry about that closing up on you. And if it does, that kick is going to hit your index finger and keep you from getting a nasty cut there. So wouldn't worry too much about this one closing up on you, which is great. In terms of the overall fit and finish, it is a Rosecraft, so it's going to be excellent across the board. You can see no gapping of any sort. Beautifully done there. All our pins are completely flush, no loose ends, cracks, or anything like that, and all really, really well finished. We have a perfectly centered blade and an excellent walk and talk on it. I'd say the pull is on the medium side, maybe a 5, maybe a 5.5 if we're being generous, but definitely not a super heavy pull, not going to be a nail breaker whatsoever. Snappy into all 3 positions. And a very consistent pull from closed to half and half to fully deployed. So feels very consistent throughout. And again, very, very snappy. Great acoustics. There is a stop pin in there, so that you may hear that a little bit on the closing. That definitely comes down to preference in terms of acoustics. It is going to save the longevity of your edge, keep it from ever rolling and hitting on that back spring, but does affect the acoustics a little bit. But overall, I'd say the walk and talk on this is excellent. I love how it sounds, and I should probably stop talking to show that off. So absolutely excellent. Weight-wise, it's going to be around 2.7 ounces. Of course, the covers themselves are going to play a small difference, probably a fraction of an ounce. Mine weighed in at 2.73 ounces. If you get some thicker ones, you may add a tenth or so of an ounce there. You may lose a tenth of an ounce with some slimmer covers, but overall, I think very, very cool. And I love that if you order multiple of these, that there's a good chance that you're going to get a decent bit of variation between them. And again, absolutely love the way those covers look, which for me is the focus of this knife. Definitely will not be the last stag covered knife that I pick up. I think both sides look excellent. I do prefer the kind of lightness of this show side, but both of them look absolutely excellent. We also have more kind of peaks on this side with more valleys on this side, so do play well off each other and seem to complement each other very well. But would love to hear your thoughts on this one down in the comments below. As usual, if you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, subscribing, or joining the channel as a member. They all help the channel out a ton. And as always, I hope you have a great one. Take care.